I started this discussion by showing you a very sacred image of the Egyptian god of knowledge holding a star in his hand with the Egyptian ankh on his wrist. Does that star have anything to do with our sun? You might be wondering what in the world is he talking about? What are these two suns? Well, I would like to help you understand the two suns that affect us every day 24/7. Many of us go around every day in our life and never realize that our star is gleaming on you. Just to let you know, we cannot live without our star, and it is one of the two most important things that should be most holy to us. Now some scientists want us to think that they are the most smartest people walking this earth. They teach that our sun is there by accident and it exists only because of rocks bumping into each other, that had uranium in them, and that uranium went to the center and that lit the sun up. They have no idea what our star is made of. Think. The uranium that we know of comes from Mother Earth, not the Sun. No one alive on planet Earth knows what our star is made of. Now I don't know what our sun is made of, but I know who made it and where it came from. We will go through that knowledge as we progress in the teachings of the mind of God. One might be wondering, what is the second sun? Maybe you have never heard of the other sun that has a lot to do with you being able to see and feel ours, that one sun we all know of. Very smart people in the ancient past spoke of this other sun and said we have a spirit sun that is the sovereign of all the sun spheres. That sovereign is the father and creator of all the suns in our Milky Way galaxy. Our star is part of our eternal sovereign that made everything that exists in our star system. We call it the Milky Way, our real home. Notice the creative mode our eternal sovereign uses to make things come into being. From the Hermetic writings we notice, Hermes says, the one who is not created cannot be grasped in the imagination. Indeed, all things become clear through him, and he is manifest in all things, appearing mainly to those to whom he wishes to convey knowledge of himself. So that teaches us, he wants us to know all about him. Let's go further. It is God then that everlastingly governs all the sources of life in the cosmos. He is the eternal dispenser of life itself. But when life has once been dispensed to all the sources of life, the supply of it is maintained in accordance with eternal law, and the manner of its maintenance I will proceed to explain. The cosmos, our solar system, moves within the very life of eternity and is contained in that very eternity where all life issues, and for this reason it is impossible that it should at any time come to a stand, or be destroyed, since it is walled in and bound together, so to speak, by eternal life. And the cosmos is itself the dispenser of life to all things in it here below, and the place in which are contained all things which are subject to control beneath the sun. The movement is of the cosmos itself consists of a twofold working. Life is infused into the cosmos from without by eternity, and the cosmos infuses life into all things that are within it, distributing all things according to fixed and determined relations of number and time, by the operation of the sun and the movements of the stars. The process of time is wholly determined by God's law, but the lapse of terrestrial time is marked by the changing states of the atmosphere, and the variations of heat and cold, while that of celestial time is marked by the return of the heavenly bodies to their former positions as they move in their periodic revolutions. So according to this holy documentation, our two sons are very holy. And they are the two reasons why we walk this earth and enjoy the life they have given us. This knowledge is nothing new, but was hidden in plain sight right before the eyes of simple-minded people. Who are you? Will our Creator make Himself manifest to you in all things? He is appearing mainly to those to whom He wishes to convey knowledge of Himself. Will you be next? At the end of this movie, I have a lot of pictures of our star and our Supreme Father that is the first cause of all life in our celestial kingdom. Please enjoy. The Egyptian writing shows that God is one and alone and that none other exists with Him. He existed when nothing else had being. Yet He is hidden from both gods and men. He is Father of the gods and men. God is one and alone, and none other exists with Him. God is the one who has made all things. God is a spirit, a hidden spirit, the spirit of spirits, the great spirit of the Egyptians, the divine spirit. God is from the beginning. He existed from of old and was when nothing else had being. He existed when nothing else existed, and what exists He created after He had come into being. He is the Father of beginnings. God is the Eternal One. He is eternal and infinite and endures forever and ever. God is hidden and no man knows His form. No man has been able to seek out His likeness. He is hidden to gods and to men. He is a mystery to His creatures. No man knows how to know Him. His name remains hidden. His name is a mystery to His children. His number. God is truth and He lives by truth and feeds thereon. He is the King of truth and He has established the earth thereon. He gives life to man. He breathes the breath of life into his nostrils. God is Father and Mother, the Father of fathers and the Mother of mothers. He begets but never was begotten. He produces but was never produced. He begot Himself and produced Himself. He creates but was never created. He is the maker of His own form and the fashioner of His own body. God Himself is existence. He endures without increase or diminution. He multiplies Himself millions of times and He is manifold in form and in members. God made the universe. He created all that is in it. He is the creator of what is in the world, of what was, of what is, and of what shall be. He is the creator of the heavens and of the earth, of the deep, of the waters, and of the mountains. God stretched out the heavens and founded the earth. What His heart conceived straightway came to pass, and when He has spoken it comes to pass and endures forever. God is the Father of the gods. He fashioned men and formed the gods. God is merciful unto those who reverence Him, and He hears him that calls upon Him. God knows him that acknowledges Him. He rewards him that serves Him, and protects him that follows Him. Maybe you don't realize it, but we just went through some very serious information that identifies our God. Now let's look hard at what is said about our Son. In the bosom of the earth there are impetuous springs of water and of fire, such are the three natures of fire, water, and earth, proceeding from a common origin. Whereby it may be thought that there is one general fountain of matter, bringing forth all abundantly and receiving existence from on high. It is thus that heaven and earth are governed by their Creator, that is, by the Son, who causes essence to stream downwards, and matter to rise upwards, and who draws to himself the universe, giving all to everything, lavish of the benefits of his radiance. It is he who distributes beneficent energies not only in heaven and throughout the air, but upon earth also, and even in the depths of the abyss. If there be an intelligible substance, it must be the very substance of the sun, whose light is the vehicle thereof. But what may be its constitution and primal fount, he only knows. That by induction we may understand that which is hidden from our sight, it would be necessary to be near him and analogous to his nature. But that which he permits us to behold is no conjecture, it is the splendid vision which illuminates the universal and supernal world. In the midst of the universe is the sun established, like the bearer of the crowns, and even as a skillful driver, he directs and maintains the chariot of the world, holding it to its course. He keeps fast the reins of it, even life, soul, spirit, immortality, and birth. He drives it before him, or, rather, with him. And after this manner he forms all things, dispensing to immortals eternal permanence. The light, which from his outer part streams towards heaven, nourishes the immortal spaces of the universe. The rest, encircling and illuminating the entirety of the waters, the earth, and the air, becomes the matrix wherein life germinates, wherein are initiated all births and metamorphoses, transforming creatures, as by a spiral motion, and causing them to pass from one portion of the world to another, from one species to another, and from one appearance to another, maintaining the equilibrium of their mutual metamorphoses, as in the creation of greater entities. For the permanence of bodies consists in transmutation. But immortal forms are indissoluble, and mortal bodies decompose, such is the difference between the immortal and the mortal. This creation of life by the sun is as continuous as his light, nothing arrests or limits it. It is the sun who preserves and nourishes all creatures, and even as the ideal world which environs the sensible world fills this last with the plenitude and universal variety of forms, so also the sun enfolding all in his light accomplishes everywhere the birth and development of creatures, and when they fall wearied in the race, gathers them again to his bosom. I hope I brought happiness to you today, for every person on this planet are my brothers, sisters, and babies. I'm just a messenger of the sun with a message that will enlighten the whole world of man and mankind. Please live a good life and seek to find the mind of God.